Hello, I am Raziel, and today I want to talk about Games Workshop's marketing, selling, stuff like that. Well, it's just something that I want to speak about because it's a long-term failure dressed up as a short-term success. A lot of it is. In this day and age of the internet, where free speech is very much a contested subject, and when people, silence the comments on their videos, can cause quite a lot of air between, viewers and everyone else because they want to reply. How heavily moderating your comments is also seen as quite egregious. And Games Workshop seems to do this. There was a video by Auspex Tacticus where he put up several comments, some neutral, some negative, some positive, and to see what ones stayed and which ones were removed. And as you could probably tell, the negative ones were removed. See, that's not a good thing, because when people see something, they want to know whether or not it's good or bad. And if they only see something positive and then buy it and say it's bad, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. And it really does. It's just something that no one likes. If those who remember, back on the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, they had Driver Free and a Driver Free Gate, where I believe it was a PlayStation magazine which gave it stellar reviews for early review copies. The game was broken and buggy and an absolute mess. So when people bought it on these good reviews, you can understand that they were quite upset that the game was this broken. And again, when we see only positivity with Games Workshop, and all the negative being removed, it leaves a bad taste and a bad example for everyone else. Having this highly moderated comment section on a YouTube video is not a good thing. I don't like having a moderated one of mine, and I do say don't use bad language because it's not to do with me, because I like to make sure that everyone can leave a comment. It's because YouTube will block it. They do hide them, and I find it difficult to reply to a comment with bad language. At times it's gone completely and I can't find it. I've got to do so much work around it, so that's why I asked not. But again, moderating it and removing anything negative it looks like you're hiding something. That's another thing. It's lying by omission. The other part of it, of course, is the yes men that they give the review copies to, and it is yes men, male or female, doesn't matter. We're using yes men as a gender neutral, right? Once again, because we see the reviews and then people go, oh, this is such a good box, blah, 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 right? And when people buy it, it's not a good box or it's not a good rule set. It not only harms the trust within Games Workshop, it harms the trust of a YouTuber as well. And I know a lot of people now, if they see a YouTuber or they read a review and the first line is, Games Workshop gave me this box, they turn off. And I'm one of them. It's like, Games Workshop gave me this box to review. It's like, I'm turning this off because I know it's not going to be a good review. It's basically an advert at this point. It's nothing else. And what will happen in long term with that is that if Games Workshop fails, and by the way, they're not too big to fail. Bigger has failed and more spectacular than Games Workshop. Games Workshop being worth, at time of recording, around about $4 billion. Marvel being worth around about $26 billion. And this is enough for Disney right now to literally cancel Marvel if they are not going to make any more money. That's $26 billion, and it can still fail a company. So Games Workshop being only worth $4 billion, yeah, it's not too big to fail. It could fail, and it may fail if they continue down this route. And it's not the only one. Also, Star Wars with Disney, if they don't make any more money soon, they could fail as well. And they're worth, I think, at the time of sale, 10 times the amount of Games Workshop is. Again, if they don't make money, Disney is quite easily going to sell them at a loss. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Games Workshop is not too big to fail. And if they continue with yes men who only giving out review copies to people who say yes and say everything nice, is only going to hurt them in the long term because they're going to be a non-trustworthy company. And to further exasperate the too big to fail myth, Silicon Valley Bank before collapse was worth $212 billion. Yeah, so that's almost, 50 times the amount Games Workshop's worth. So yes, Games Workshop's not too big to fail, but Games Workshop can fail. It's just not true that it's been too big. And these failures at the long term can and will cause it issues in the future. And this is not the first time we've seen Games Workshop fail. Games Workshop failed back in 5th. It was doing really poorly and it needed help. So, and finally we got the FOMO, the fear of missing out marketing. The fear of missing out marketing is probably the most insidious of them all, because it is going to do far more damage than anyone else. See, with fear of missing out, it's playing on the fact that things are limited edition and people are going to want to buy them quickly. It also means that scalpers buy very quickly. We have the new Trug Herd, who I think, being a special edition box, is going to sell out on day release and be on eBay at the same time. Now the problem with this is fear of missing out only lasts for a short period of time before people get tired of it and just don't care. Which means if they don't care, they don't buy from anyone, not even scalpers. Which means if they don't buy from scalpers, scalpers aren't going to buy from Games Workshop. If they aren't going to buy from Games Workshop, Games Workshop's going to have stock unsold. It's that simple. And it will continue that way unless Games Workshop start to change things, and there are quite simple things to change. First things first, get rid of any moderators that delete negative comments. Reply to the negative comments and try to reassure your customer. I have seen this with other companies. Warcradle's good at doing this. When there's a complaint on Facebook, that one of the game developers will speak and say, look, this is our plan right now, this is what we're doing, and it reassures the customers. It means people want to stay because they feel validated with their complaint, that they've been listened to, that they've been heard. To see your complaint get removed from the Facebook or YouTube or whatever just feels like that your company you're talking to doesn't care. Having it validated, like Warcradle does, makes me want to buy from them again, because I feel like that I'm actually being listened to as a customer. The second piece, yes men, getting rid of those. If you're going to send out review copies to journalists, send them out to everyone who will even say no and address the poor points. If someone can address the poor points on your dime, then you have faith in your own product. Always, I feel, when any company refuses to give out a review product to a person or a outlet which will respond negatively, has no faith in their product. It gives me no faith in their product either, because it's telling me that they want someone to say the positive things and that they don't trust it enough that someone won't say anything negative. If it's something negative, it also means something they can work on. It's something that they can fix before it's released, rather than have it released and then I'll go, oh, now we got to do all these updates and everything else. The reviews are meant to be there for two people. It's meant to be for consumer, so we know what's wrong with it. It's meant to, and what to look out for, and given an educated and very much informed decision while buying it. And it's also there for the producer, knowing what's wrong and what needs fixing. It works for two people and it works well. Game developers do the same. We did have a problem with positive reviews, as I said, with Driver 3 and Rockstar as well, being very keen on giving it to people who see nice things. But again, if you only give it to people who say nice things, you'll never learn. You'll never grow. And this is not like I'm saying, oh, Games Workshop needs to do this because I want them to fail. I don't want anyone to fail, because it means loss of jobs and everything else. What it means, I want, is that they can grow and fix themselves. And surrounding yourself with yes men means you're never going to grow. It's an overwatered plant. It's going to drown eventually. And with FOMO, stop it. Stop the limited edition. Games Workshop doesn't even do pre-orders. They do early orders. A pre-order gets the numbers there for release. So if you get 100 people online and they all pre-order, the product shouldn't even be made at this point of pre-ordering. It should be out to a point where you can show it off, like what models are in it, what's going to look like, but it shouldn't be to a point where it's made and stocked into a warehouse. It needs to be done when people place their pre-orders. It should be, let's say 100 people pre-order, then that order goes in and then they make the 100. Then you make the additional, the stock that you were planning to make after that. The pre-orders should be there so you know what needs to be sold. It's a market of what's already paid for, not what's already made to be bought. and then given away a week later. Pre-orders shouldn't work like that. And the way to stop that is literally to get the number of pre-orders and go, right, they've paid for it, now we make them. That's a pre-order. That's how it should work. The other thing is to stop with the limited edition numbered books with every brand new release. I'm so happy Yindrashta, the new book, it hasn't got this issue. It seems to be quite simply just the book. Yeah, stop it with these pre-order releases. Stop it with all that. If you're going to do a limited edition release, make sure it's limited edition for a particular reason. It's something that's spectacular. See, here's the thing about these limited edition now. With the Codex always having a limited edition release, most people who collect them will not buy just the one. It doesn't gain the value anymore of being limited edition. You may have the one person who might need that particular issue or that copy, but on the highest, most probably likeliness is that they're only worth it if you've got them all, not just the one. And secondly, who really wants to take a limited edition book out anyway? Codex in effect. Or a novel or anything like. It's just there to collect dust. It's not even doing what a book's meant to do. But that's my opinion on that bit anyway. But yes, these limited editions just don't work, and they need to stop or slow them down. And that's it. So this is my issues with Games Workshop's marketing, and it needs to be fixed. And honestly, I can see this being a long-term problem. And what you can see is sales of Games Workshop are decreasing. Now, okay, profits are up. I'm not going to deny that, but sales are down. If it continues to decrease, we have a shareholders meeting on the 20th of September. If it further increases if it sales further to decrease, there may be a problem. And if it's looking this way, Games Workshop might do what they always do, and that's up prices to counteract the lack of sales. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video on Games Workshop marketing and where it goes wrong. And I'll see you all again soon. Link to Wayland Games down below, as always, if you wish to buy some Warhammer at a discount price or try a new game, which is what I always suggest. Try Warcradle. They're really good for their customer service, and they do listen to you guys. I mean, it's great. It's one reason I'm sticking with them so much. Of course, there is Forbidden Planet, if you like comics, and there is my comics, my merchandise, stickers, cups, t-shirts, etc., everything else. And finally, there is my Patreon. But as always, treat yourself to something nice before you just give me money, and I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.